This video is going to be another cozy catch-up. As we are in the midst of planner season chaos, today I just want to offer a bit more of a slower paced video. I have a few things that I want to catch up with you on, and I have some fun ink samples that I was very generously gifted from a few of my patrons, and I'm really excited to share them with you today. So today is going to be more of a chatty video, but hopefully there will be something pretty to look at as well as we do a little bit of ink exploration. So if that sounds like something that would interest you, then I invite you to settle in, grab yourself a tea, a coffee, or whatever beverage of choice, a snack, and something to keep you company and help you feel cozy while we hang out and have a catch up. Today I am drinking a water. I've already had 2 cups of coffee, and my snack of choice are these rich tea biscuits from M&S or Marks & Spencer. My parents recently returned from a trip to the UK, and they very kindly brought my sister and I back some of these M&S biscuits. We love M&S, and honestly, this is the best gift that I could receive from them. So I'm really excited to dig into these. To give you a quick rundown of what I want to cover today, and I will include some timestamps so you can jump around the video if you're only interested in one of the updates. I want to go over a couple of Traveler's Notebook updates. So an update in my memory keeping Traveler's Notebook, an update in my Artist's Way morning pages TN, a couple updates in general on the Artist's Way, including a live stream that's coming up this Monday. So by the time this video goes live, I think the live stream will be a couple days later on Monday, September the 8th. And I'm going to chat really quickly about a new Patreon series that I'm kicking off this month and I'm really excited about. And then we're just going to get right into the ink swatching portion of the video. And I think that's about all we're going to have time for today. The first updates are related to my Traveler's Notebook. I'm still really loving this cover. I don't know if you can see, but it's been getting nice and marked up because I am taking this out and about with me, and I've really fallen in love with this cover even more because I do use this for my morning pages, and it's so convenient to have in my lap for me to write in. So I've just been really loving this setup, and this whole craft folder that I DIY'd using the packaging from this Traveler's Notebook has held up so well. So I'm really happy about that. And this is my second insert for morning pages, and I'm really excited to report that I have about this many pages left. So I think within a matter of a week, I'm going to be ready to move into a new insert. So I'm really excited to finish this up. It feels really satisfying to finish another insert. And then I'm excited to shop my at-home stationery store and pick a new insert to move into for volume 3 of my morning pages. And in case you're curious, this is what it is looking like. It still looks pretty new to me, and it's still, the leather is still pretty stiff, and there's a few more scratches on the front compared to on the back, but I adore this cover, and I'm just so happy that it is in my lineup. Speaking of the Artist's Way, Leanne and I have finished the 12-week program, and I probably will create a separate video to talk a little more about my overall experience with it, but I think I just need a little more time to process my experience of it before I'm ready to make a video on it, but that is something that I intend to do at a later date. But in the meantime, Leanne and I are actually going to be hosting a live stream on Monday, September the 8th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. Because we know that this might be in the middle of the workday for a lot of folks, we will definitely be recording it and we will post the recording after. And we've also decided to commit to sticking within a 1 hour time frame. So I know with our last live stream, we did go over to, I think, almost 2 hours. For this one, we will make sure that we stick within the 1 hour. So if you are able to attend, hopefully that helps a little with your scheduling. And of course, if you're not able to attend, we would love to catch up with you asynchronously after it's over. So if you aren't able to attend, but you do have a question for us, please leave a comment in my video or feel free to leave a comment on our Patreon accounts. We're going to do sort of an AMA style, so we would love to have a list of questions from all of you and just have a general catch up on how this experience has been, because it was quite a journey and we're really looking forward to closing off this chapter with all of you. So look out for that on Monday. Editing, Allison here. I mentioned at the beginning of the video that I wanted to talk a little bit about a new Patreon series that I'm starting. So as some of you may know, I recently completed the 12-week Artist's Way self-led course with Leanne from Leanne Likes. And now that that is done, I have a little more capacity to take on a new project. And if you know me, I love a project. I think it gives me a sense of accountability and it really helps with my motivation to have something to work towards. So my next project is going to be finishing my Japan travel journal. So I started this journal actually while I was on my trip in Japan. I had this sketchbook that I did sketches in while I was on my trip and I collected different stamps. I also had a journal insert where I journaled throughout the trip, so it was more of a pen and paper only insert. And then while I was on the trip, I organized all of my ephemera in different envelopes for each of the cities that we spent time in. And they are still sitting in this notebook. So as part of my project, I am going to finish this travel journal. And what that's going to look like is I will share for all members, I will share posts occasionally to document my progress. And for my Little Coco Companion tier, I will be recording 1 to 2 videos a month. They will be journal with me or flip throughs of this as I make more progress on it. And if there's interest, perhaps some live streams as well. So I'm really excited to kick off this project, and I'll just be going on with it until it's finished. And when it's all done, I'll probably do a full flip through of the journal on my main channel, but that will probably be sometime in the future because I'm not sure how long it's going to take for me to finish this journal. But I'm determined to do it because I don't want to have all of this stuff sitting around for too long. Just wanted to share that, and if you're interested, I will leave a link in my description for my Patreon, and if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, thanks, bye. The next update is that I recently completed my long form journaling insert. This TN I use for memory keeping and journaling. So what I would do was I would have one insert, which was a vertical weekly, and I would use this insert for more like creative memory keeping, where I include more photos and highlights throughout the week. And then I had an insert after. My second insert was an insert that I was using for just long form journaling. Once I started doing the morning pages, I found that I wasn't using this as much for just paper and pen journaling. So I did eventually pivot it to be more of an extension ephemera type of journal. So if I had my highlights here and I wanted to expand on anything, I would use this insert to expand on that, because I do tend to collect a lot of ephemera and I don't always know what to do with it. I have another TN that I used to use more of as like a general catch-all, and I would just put everything in there, but that is slowly transforming into more of a happy mail insert. And it's really thick. Like, it's not even done, but it's already like this thick. So I think it's good to have that separation, and the idea that I can archive all of these inserts together really appeals to me. So I finished this one. So it's kind of a hybrid of like long form journaling, and then it stops abruptly because I started the morning pages, and I finished this insert with some of the ephemera from a few different events in August. I then wanted to share that I moved into my new insert. I remember not really being happy with how I decorated this when I did it, but looking back at it now, having had a few days of distance from it, I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. So this is what the cover looks like. And then on the inside, I just used some washi tape to add the little information paper that comes with it. So this is a station edition. I just wanted to keep that with this insert. And then I've just put here using some sticky letters the month that I started this insert, and then when I'm finished, I'll put the month and the date on here. For some reason, I can never use the first page of a notebook. I don't know why. It's this really weird thing. I guess it's a weird quirk. So I always, whenever I start a new notebook, I always skip the first page. And sometimes I go back and I will add something to it, but sometimes I just leave it blank. Is anyone else like this? I don't know. And then I did my first spread in here, which is to commemorate the Tomato Day. That is a full day event that I do every year with some friends, where we'll buy bushels of San Marzano tomatoes, and then we'll basically chop them up, boil them down, and can them. And it's this year we did 4 bushels and we made about 72 bottles of tomato, and it's just a really fun day because we'll meet in the morning, we'll chop and prep all the tomatoes, and then we'll start boiling them outside in the backyard in a really big pot. And then we'll do kind of a communal lunch. And then after lunch, we will continue boiling down and milling and then reducing the tomato sauce to get it ready to be canned. And then we'll sort of set up a canning station where we'll set them all up. And then after we are complete, like after we've finished everything, we will usually order sushi from a nearby sushi restaurant. These are the finished bottles. We turn them upside down to help seal them, and then we cover them with a blanket and we leave them for a few days until they're ready. And then, yeah, this was just a nice way to cap off the day. So we always have sushi, and then we'll have some refreshments. And this year we split a really lovely rosé wine. And this year was extra special because Coconut actually came with us. And a few of the kids that were there were so entertained. They created a coconut petting zoo, and they created these signs, and they were just so sweet with coconut. So I saved some of these. It was a much bigger piece of paper where they wrote deadly to children under 8 years old, coconut petting zoo. I just thought it was really cute. Coconut was such a good sport as well. So this was such a great memory, and I'm glad that I was able to print more photos than I would in the standard insert. So this is all I wrote about Tomato Day in my weekly spread, and I'm thinking I might try to connect this to the insert. So maybe I'll put some kind of sticker or some kind of indicator to look in the insert for the expanded entry. Haven't really figured that out just yet. But then I love that then I can kind of like share a little more about it, because some of these things I just have more to say and I have more photos that I want to remember. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm feeling re-inspired. This is really helping to curb the temptation and desire to do daily journaling, because I don't have to do this every day. And if I need more space, I can do I can take more I can take more pages. So yeah, and this printed grid, again, I know I keep talking about it, but it really is like such a game changer for me. Even though the margins didn't print exactly as I would have wanted, it was so much easier to write on straight lines with this grid here. And yeah, it was just a really pleasant journal experience, and it's this beautiful MD cream paper, so I'm really happy with that. I'm just excited to continue filling out this insert. So I will share another update when I have more, but this is the progress and updates in this TN. I am going to do some ink swatching. We're going to use my cousin. A little bit of background. I want to give a huge thank you to two of my patrons, Mandy and Sarah. Thank you so much for your generosity and for the surprise ink samples. So I made a video a while back where I talked about getting my dream Hachimonjiya Kubo Zakura pen, and I had talked about how I had been really eyeing the Kobe strawberry chocolate ink, but I talked myself out of getting it and decided to attempt to mix some different versions of the Iroshizuku inks that I already own to see if I could mimic strawberry chocolate. So Mandy so kindly reached out and offered to send me a sample of the strawberry chocolate. And if that wasn't kind and generous enough, when I received the package, she actually shared a few more inks with me, including the Kobe milk chocolate, which is another ink that I had been eyeing and really hoping to try, but I was trying to talk myself out of buying. So Mandy, thank you so much. So we're gonna swatch out the inks that she shared with me. And then Sarah, not only has she been amazing at organizing a pen pal letter exchange with some of the others who were interested, but she also sent me a surprise package that included some beautiful washi tapes, some stickers, and some ink samples as well. So I thought we could just have some fun swatching all of these ink samples. And then I think the other thing that I really want to do is I want to compare Kobe strawberry chocolate with some of my experiments to see how close I actually came to. And I'm also going to ink up this pen. It is currently, I cleaned it recently, so it's currently ready to be inked. I'm going to ink it up with this Kobe strawberry chocolate, and I'm so excited. If there's time, we'll get to test out writing with this beautiful ink. So let's just get into it. I'm not always the best at talking and swatching, so I don't know how chatty this portion is going to be. So I think I'm going to start with Sarah's over here, and then I'm going to do Mandy's over here so I can finish with strawberry chocolate somewhere around here. And then I don't know if I'll be able to fit all of this on the page, but then I can do some of my Iroshizuku experiments to see how close they were. And looking back at some of the different swatches that I did, I suspect, yeah, I don't know actually. I don't know what's gonna work out. So let's just get started. In terms of supplies, I've got ink stabilizer, my ink sample stabilizer. This is from Fountain Pendulum. I've got my Soink, and this is from Wendy Sue from Fountain Pen News. I've got my Kakamori brass nib, which I don't even know if I'm going to use actually, because I might just use this Swink, but I've got this here just in case. And then I've also got this really fun ink sample stabilizer that Mandy included in her package. Mandy also has a YouTube channel, so her channel is Bookish Mandy. If you like watching people swatch inks, Mandy does some of the most creative and thorough ink swatching videos out there. When the Diamine Forever Ink series came out, she created this amazing video where she swatched all of the inks in the range, and that really helped me when I was picking the ones that I wanted to try. And then she also did this other video that I absolutely loved where she inked up a white TWSBI with white pigment ink to mimic like a white gel pen. And I just thought that was so genius. And so Mandy, if you're watching this, thank you for sharing your ink with me. And also let us know what happened with your white TWSBI. Is it still working okay? And how does it compare to a white gel pen? So anyway, these are the supplies that I'm going to be using. I'm actually going to start with Kobe strawberry chocolate because I want to ink this at the same time. So let me just put this here, and I'm just going to dip the pen in this time instead of getting my, usually I use a syringe to keep things clean, but I'm not going to do that today. Okay, so pretty decent fill. I try to be sparing because I know that this paper isn't really the best, so I'm gonna also use my paper blotter. What a gorgeous, gorgeous color. Okay, so this is Kobe strawberry chocolate. I'm really interested to see how this compares to some of the other inks that I mixed, but let's let that dry. I think I'll leave about this much space for my Iroshizuku inks. So the next one that I want to try is Kobe milk chocolate. Very excited for this one too. Back when I was thinking about making an order directly from the Nagasawa website, I was thinking, if I'm going to pay shipping anyway, I might as well get strawberry chocolate and milk chocolate. And I think there might even be a third one, like a dark chocolate, but I talked myself out of it, and I don't know, maybe getting these samples is going to be a little dangerous. Oh wow. This is so beautiful. Like, It really has a little bit of a pink undertone to it. So it's this really beautiful dusty pink, which is stunning. Okay, so I'm just gonna label that. Okay. So next up we have Tacha Ume Murasaki. I do already own this ink, but it's such a gorgeous ink that I'm excited to just share it again with you because it's definitely one of my all-time favorite inks. Probably one of my top 5 inks. Yeah, that is a stunning ink. It's kind of like another brown ink, but it has a purple undertone, so it's actually so lovely to see it next to milk chocolate. They're similar, but they're also different at the same time. Okay, the next one that Mandy shared with me is called Private Reserve Arabian Rose. Oh, wow. I wonder if I put a little too much. Anyway, so this is Private Reserve. But yeah, you can see it's bled right through. So this is the 2025 bad paper, so there's also that to think about. The next one is Sailor South Dakota. I love Sailor inks, so I'm really excited to try this ink. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. So this is like a muted magenta kind of color. It's I can see that it's kind of similar to strawberry chocolate, but maybe, yeah, I guess I'll have to see when it dries. Okay. Now the last one that she shared was Sailor Ink Studio 273. I have had this ink on my wish list for quite some time. I have Sailor Ink Studio 573 and I love that ink. I've looked at ink samples or ink swatches of this online and I've been really close to buying this ink a few times, but I was a little worried it would be too light to write with. But now I get to sample it. So thank you again, Mandy. I'm really excited about this one too. You have sent me some gorgeous pink inks and I am just so excited to try them. Wow. Okay. It's definitely the lightest out of all of these, but it also has this beautiful brown. It's a pink, but there's brown tones in it, and then it looks like there's almost like a bit of a greenish halo. I can't wait to try that in a pen to see if it's legible. Gorgeous. Okay. So I think now I'm going to do the inks from Sarah. Sarah, if you're watching this, thank you again so much for these generous ink samples. Let's get started with Diamine Earl Grey. I think this is quite a staple in the fountain pen community. When I first got into the fountain pen hobby, I wasn't really a fan of gray inks, and I didn't really understand why they were so popular, but I've really grown to love gray ink. Okay, the next one is Lennon Toolbar Dried Longoon. So I am a really big Lennon Toolbar fan. I love their inks. Ooh, okay. So it's like a kind of like a brown orange. That's pretty. I wonder if how that would write. I wonder if this would be legible or if it would be more of a lighter ink. And I don't mind if I have some inks that are kind of on the lighter side, because I love to use my Pilot Parallel for thicker lines, and I even think this would be really fun to use as a highlighter if you had a really light colored ink. So I don't mind at all if I have a couple of really light inks. Okay, the next one is one that I was very curious about. I think this is a pretty new ink. It's the Tono and Limbs Yoseka Scent of Lavender ink. I remember watching Daisy talk about this in one of their recent videos when they had the Tono and Limbs event. So this is really kind. And it does smell like lavender. I've never really used a scented ink before in a pen, so I don't know how well the scent lasts in a pen. This is beautiful. It's kind of like a blue purple, more on the purple side, but it looks like a lighter ink as well. And the last one, and I saved this for last because this is a shimmer ink. This one is Ferris Wheel Press, the Velvet Ballet. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a shake. Oh, as this Tono and Limbs is drying, you can see some kind of pink showing up at the edges. That is beautiful. Okay. Ooh, this is a really nice dark, like maroon color. I really like this. I'm really into bold red tones, like in my traveler's notebook. I like doing my headings in like a dark red. This is Oxblood, but I've enjoyed using Oxblood as my titles. So I wonder if maybe this would be a nice contender for the next one if I wanted to continue with the red theme. This is... Wow, I love the green that's poking through in this Sailor Ink Studio. Oh, these are all so beautiful. Okay. Now I want to take a look at some of the inks that I had mixed. See if I got close to strawberry chocolate. I already know some of them are not going to be a good match. I swatched them out here in my A6, and I think maybe the 1 ounce Hana Akata and the 0.5 ounce Kirisame will be, it looks kind of similar. And maybe the 1 ounce Kosumosu 0.5 Kirisame and 0.5 Yamaguri. I wonder if those two might look similar. So I'm gonna try those first. So that is this one. Okay, that doesn't really look that similar at all, does it? So I don't think that's similar. So the other one is the 1 ounce Hana Ikata and 0.5 of Kirisame. So we're just gonna try that one because it looked kind of similar. I think they kind of come close, but it definitely looks different. In an ideal world, I would ink them all up in a pen and see how that looks. I'll have to do that at a later time, just to give myself time to ink the pen and clean it. One thing I did notice when I wrote when I inked the pens with these swatches is they didn't look that different in actual writing. So I think what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to do a really quick writing sample of this. And let's just make sure this is inked. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you can really tell the difference, I would say, in this writing sample. It's much lighter and it feels a little warmer. I think looks like the closest that it comes to is maybe this top one, the 1 ounce Hana Ikata and the 3 drops Fuyu Syogen or Shogun. But this one actually does look just a touch, warmer. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but I don't know if you can see that, but that's the differences between the ones that I've tried so far. So this is kind of dangerous. I really love this. I understand why everybody loves Kobe Strawberry Chocolate. It is such a stunning color. It's a perfect match for this pen. I am going to cherish this sample. I'm really going to cherish this sample, Mandy. So thank you again so much for sharing some of this with me. And Sarah, if you're watching, thank you for the inks and the stickers. I can't wait to use all of those things. I'll let this dry. Oh gosh, look at that. This is the bad paper of 2025. Looking forward to hopefully better paper next year. Oh gosh, look at that. Oh no. Okay, that was my bad. So let me know what you think of these inks. Have you tried Kobe Strawberry Chocolate? And if so, what do you think of the ink? It's so interesting to see it written out here, how light and warm it is. And then here, just seeing it in a swatch, it looks like there's a little more purple in here. But it's an absolutely stunning color. Again, I understand why people love it. I have got so many different pinks to play with over the next little while. I'm really excited to try out Sailor Ink Studio in a pen, even though I just ruined the swatch with some of this linen toolbar. I'm also curious to see how this writes. If anyone has used Linen Toolbar Longan, let me know if it's legible. And this Ferris Wheel Press Velvet Ballet is stunning. I love how bold and dark it is. I think this Private Reserve looks like it's quite a wet ink. I don't know if that's the paper or if that's the ink, but I haven't ever used a Private Reserve ink before, so I don't know a lot about it. But if you have, let me know if it tends to be a wetter ink or not. And have you tried the infamous Kobe Milk Chocolate and Kobe Strawberry Chocolate? I'll give this a chance to dry, and then I might come back later. If you're still here, thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Let me know what you worked on while you watched this video. I truly appreciate you. In the last few videos, I appreciated the conversation in general with Hobonichi. For those of you who did end up buying on launch day, I enjoyed hearing about your experience. I am a little sad that I didn't get to see the adorable bear animation that everybody was talking about. I don't know if it'll still be there when I make my purchase, but it sounded really cute. And I have been really excited to watch everyone's hauls and unboxing. So if you decide to film any kind of Hobonichi haul or unboxing, please feel free to leave a link to your video in my comments. I would love to watch it. And yeah, I hope planner season is treating you well, and I hope that you are finding it fun, but also not too overwhelming. That's all for me today. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye!